Herzlich willkommen zurück zu A Sky Full of Stars. She spoke gently, seeming to worry a bit, but I nodded. I'm Akito Zorami. It's nice to meet you. I tried to make myself look intimidating so that no one would mess with me. A boy who looked like he was the class bully stared at me, clearly not liking me already. And from somewhere else, a hand shot up.
Hi! Hokiboshi-san?
Even though it wasn't time for questions, the girl raised her hand so eagerly, the confused teacher called on her. The hand's owner stood up excitedly. Her vigor made her chair crash into the desk behind her, and the girl sitting there let out a small cry.
君、空見くんって言うんだ。私は光。ほうき星光っていうの。あれ
I guessed that she was waiting for me to react with, "Oh, it's the girl from before." But I just stared, expressionless. I even tilted my head to side a bit and looked confused.
急にどうしたの光ちゃん。恥ずかしいから座りなよ。なに張り切ってんだよ、バカ光。
Since I didn't offer any reply, Hikari looked kind of silly, getting all excited over the new kid.
違うよ。今朝会ったんだよ、空見くんと。その時名前聞けなかったから。忘れられてんじゃん。だっせー。うっさいよ、タケ。はいはい、静かに。ほうき星さん、自己紹介は休み時間にやりましょうね。違うのに。みんなもほうき星さんのように空見くんと仲良くしてあげてね。
Everyone called out, "Yes, ma'am," in chorus.
真ん中の後ろの席があなたの席よ。
Okay.
それじゃあ授業を始めます。今日は教科書の87ページから。
It was break time. As soon as the class finished and we thanked the teacher, I left the classroom. I couldn't stand the way everyone was staring at me, the weird new kid with the wet pants. Hikari followed me out. But I started to walk faster, trying to get away.
なんで逃げる？今朝のお礼をちゃんと言いたいだけなのに。
Why would you thank me? It wasn't even your dog, was it?
そうだけど。でも助けてくれたじゃん。
I did it because I wanted to, so you don't need to thank me.
何それ難しくてよくわかんない。
I have to go to the restroom. Are you coming with me? Hikari stopped in surprise. An innocent look on my face, I entered the male sanctuary of the boys' restroom.
もう知らない。
Apart from that incident in the morning, I passed the first day of my new school problem-free. The girl called Hikari Hokiboshi was, unsurprisingly, the most popular girl in class. And judging by the way she tried so hard that morning to save a dog she didn't even know, she was a good kid. And it's not like I hated her or anything. I just didn't think getting stuck with a girl like that would be a good idea, since I preferred being alone. A girl like that would surely worry about someone like me, all alone, and then everyone would start to imagine things. It's hard to explain how painful that is for someone who really wants solitude. Also, guys start to look hard at someone who makes friends with girls right after transferring in. That would not be a good way to create a peaceful school life. I'd learned this all before. This was my 4th school transfer after all. And that's how I started my new school life here. It was the next day. The same old thing started.
おいサラミ、俺たちの仲間に入れてやろうか。
The guy who looked like the head bully was called Takeshi Kusakabe. And of course, he was the head bully. He was the tallest in class and looked as strong as an ox. I raised my hand and prepared to speak. I appreciate the invitation, but I'm afraid I can't. I said it politely, like a gentleman would have, so as not to get on his nerves. Or rather, that was the plan.
なんだその言い方。そうだ、せっかくタケちゃんが仲間に入れてやるって言ってるのに。お前、生意気だぞ。
So much for friends. He probably just wanted me to be a bootlicker like these guys. I just prefer to be alone, sorry. I said with a super cool little smile. As guys, they should have really understood that smile.
なんかこいつ、すっげえムカつきよ、タケちゃん。
Huh? That was weird. It seemed like they didn't get it. In fact, it looked like it had the exact opposite effect I hoped for.
これなんだ？
Takeshi noticed the long, thin case I had beside my desk.
お前、学校に何持ってきてんだ？
He said and reached out for it. Don't touch that! Smack! I slapped Takeshi's hand by reflex. Oh boy, now I'd done it.
こいつ、やっぱり生意気だ。
Wait, no! That was just...
もうらいい。
Takeshi took advantage of my distraction and snatched the case. Hey, what are you doing? Give that back!
やだね。悔しかったら自分で取り返してみな。
His 2 minions stood in my way to keep me from him.
やめなさいよ、ダーシー。そうよ、そうよ。
The girls in the room must have sensed the dangerous shift in mood and started speaking up.
俺たちは転校生と仲良くしてるだけだっての。なあ、空見。
Whatever, just give it back.
やだね。
Saying this, Takeshi unzipped the covering on the case.
なんだこれ。
He pulled out a white, tube-like object from the case. Not knowing what he held, Takeshi unzipped the cover and took it off. Get your hands off that.
ひかりちゃん、早く早く。空見くん、どうしたどうした。またタケが悪さしたの？
One girl was pulling Hikari into the room by her hand.
タケちゃん、ひかりが来た。女相手にビビってんじゃねえ。お前らガード捨てろ。はあ。
Seeing what was going on, Hikari slipped through a gap in the desks and rushed fiercely up to us.
ちょっとどいて。うわ。タケちゃん、ごめん。
The minions were routed and Hikari made her way to Takeshi unopposed.
やっちゃえ、ひかりちゃん。やるか。
Takeshi put up his guard by reflex. But
天体望遠鏡じゃん。
seemingly unaware of the surroundings or tension in the air, Hikari stared at it with gleaming eyes. Her burning gaze was fixed on the white box in Take's hands.
天体望遠鏡？そうだよ、天体望遠鏡だよ。タケ、これどうしたの？こいつが持ってたんだ。空見くんの？その入れ物、天体望遠鏡だったんだ。 して。
She grabbed it from Takeshi and examined it up close.
ビッグなんて読むんだっけ。忘れたけど、この名前知ってる。
Ja, sag es, Vixen, Vixen, es heißt Vixen. She couldn't read the English brand name, but apparently knew what it was.
おい、空見。なんか知らねえけど、こんなもん学校に持ってきていいと思ってんのかよ。
そうだそうだ、先生に言いつけるぞ。
I stayed silent and everyone stared at me. They all probably wondered why I'd bring a telescope, something you only use at night, to school during the day. I doubted anyone could imagine the real reason. But Hikari didn't seem to care about any of that. She just stared at the telescope jealously.
いいなあ、天体望遠鏡。私ね、お父さんに買ってほしいっておねだりしたんだ。でもダメって言われた。光は秋っぽいからダメだ。どうせすぐ他に欲しいものができるだろうって。私って信用ないんだよね。でもしょうがないんだ。前に買ってもらった釣り竿は一匹も魚釣れずにやめちゃったし、ジグソーパズルは3分の1やって止まってるし、ゲームも全部クリアする前にやめちゃうし、宿題よく忘れるし、ご飯は残さず食べるけど食器をシンクに持っていくのを忘れて怒られるし。今度は本当なのって一生懸命お願いしたんだけどね。ばあちゃんが言ってた。一度失った信用はそう簡単には取り戻せないって。信じて欲しかったらいっぱいいい子にして、それで信頼回復しないといけないんだよ。
Hikari had an expression on her face like she understood well the hardships of life, and sighed.
どうでもいいよ。お前が親に信用されてない話とか。
俺も同じことこないだ母ちゃんに言われたな。
Hikari had given an incredibly detailed yet seemingly pointless account of her own fickle nature and how it made her lose her parents' trust. However, Takeshi and his minions had listened, and it had seemed to quell their aggression. And in the meantime, the bell rang and the teacher came into the room.
あなたたち、チャイム鳴ったわよ。席に着きなさい。
Takeshi and his goons sat down, expressions downcast. Hikari returned the telescope to its case without the teacher noticing.
ねえ、今度これで星見せてよ。
She said, returning it to me. I just hooked it back on the side of my desk without saying yes or no. With things left like this, Takeshi was sure to pick another fight over something. There had been some stupid teasing, sure, but to be honest, I was kind of relieved by it. Compared to my schools before this, the teasing had been almost amateur, if not downright childish. Actually, I figured that Hikari coming around to poke her nose in and complicate things would be more of a pain. I hadn't made any friends. Of course, I wasn't trying to. I stopped trying ages ago. Besides, who knew how long I'd be here? I just went through each day, holding my breath, trying to ride out the storm. One day, when I was finally an adult and able to decide things for myself, I'd be out of the storm. But right now, all I could do was pray for that day to come soon. Things went on like that for a month. Everyone seemed to get used to me, the alien transfer student. The days seemed to gain more regularity and tranquility. Then something happened to shake all that to pieces. another transfer student showed up. I started off that day searching the thickets next to the school building. When I'd gotten to school in the morning, my indoor shoes hadn't been in the shoe cabinet.
ほんとタケにも困ったもんだよ。後でちゃんとローリングそばとしとくからさ。
There's first bell. We have to get to the class.
うん、そうだね。
She said, but she didn't go anywhere. Hikari was poking her head into another thicket, still looking for my shoes.
おかしいな。あいつアホだからいつもだいたいこの辺に隠すんだけど。私も前にやられたことあるよ。ムカついたからあいつの上履き太郎の小屋に放り込んでやったんだ。太郎知ってる？早乙女先生んちの犬。
Is he really vicious? I blurted out.
うん、おとなしいよ。もうおじいちゃんだもん。けど、でっかいんだ。
She stretched both hands out as far as they'd go. If her sign was anything to go by, the dog must have been as big as a Great Dane, but she was probably exaggerating.
タケのやつビビっちゃって。私に泣きついてきたから、しょうがないから取ってきてやったの。太郎、私には優しいから。
I could see that Hikari was Takeshi's natural enemy. If Takeshi ever tried to bully a girl, Hikari would come flying in and rescue her. The girls in class lived in relative peace thanks to her. But most of the boys were too embarrassed to have a girl help them, so we had to watch out for ourselves. Having said that, even the worst of Takeshi's bullying was pretty tame, just hiding people's shoes.
タケはヘタレだから本当に捨てたりできないんだ。前によっちゃんの体操着を川に流しちゃったことがあって、弁償させられて、タケのやつおっちゃんにめちゃめちゃ怒られたんだって。因果応報だってばあちゃんが言ってた。
Hikari nodded with a look like, that's just what I think too, but I wondered if she really knew what karma meant. Huh. We both dropped the conversation and focused on looking for the shoes.
ね
Yeah?
え、ソラミ君はどうして友達作ろうとしないの？
Hikari looked like she'd been wanting to ask this for a while. It's just how I am.
ほら、それ、なんか冷めててひねくれてる。
Her open expression cut right through me. But I kept cool on the outside. And
そうだよ。そんなだからタケたちにもしつこくちょっかいかけられるんだよ。もっとフレンドリーに行こうよ。例えば一緒に望遠鏡で星見ようぜとかさ。
so that's what you're after.
ギク。
Hikari had been eyeing me and my telescope like a hawk. For such a normally fickle person, she was being awfully persistent.
いいじゃん、見せてくれたって。一度だけでいいからさ。
Hikari suddenly turned defiant. No!
なんでよ。理由を聞こうじゃないか。
I don't have to tell you anything.
どうして使わないのにいつも学校に持ってきてるの？
Who knows? She looked at me like she didn't know what to do with me. Forget about it. Just go back to class. There's another transfer student coming today, isn't there?
そうだった。女の子なんだって。都会に住んでた子だって言ってたよ。どんな子だろうね。やっぱりおしゃれなのかな。毒も とかそういうのやってたりするのかな。
If you want to know so bad, shouldn't you head back to class?
そっか、じゃあ早く見つけよう。くそー、タケのアホ目どこに隠した？
It didn't look like there was any way she was leaving first. I sighed and kept looking. We finally found my indoor shoes inside a storage box in the corner of the schoolyard. Just like Hikari said, it was somewhere with a roof, where they wouldn't get dirty. The shoes themselves were still brand new. But the bell had already rung by the time we got back to class.
やっばー、朝の会始まっちゃってるよ。
We could hear Mrs. Saotome's voice from the classroom. If we go in now, we're still safe. I'll explain, you were helping me.
待って。
Hikari snuck to the back door of the classroom and opened it soundlessly. Cut it out! I said, shocked, but Hikari didn't listen and just peeked through the gap in the door.
あ、
A girl was standing in front of the blackboard. Just like I had 1 month earlier. But this time, the mood was totally different. Unlike me, with my wet pants and a missing shoe, she stood tall, in clean clothes, staring at everyone with a kind of primness about her. But most of all,
サングラスしてる。大女優みたい。
she was exactly what everyone had imagined when they'd heard the words transfer student from the big city. The classroom was all abuzz. Even Takeshi stared intently, completely starstruck by the sight.
毒もだ。やっぱり毒もなんだ、きっと。
What does that even mean?
うん。
I guessed that she was trying to say supermodel, but for Hikari, it probably had the same vague familiarity as king or assassin. I don't know about a model, but her clothes, especially those glasses, were nice. Her posture was good, and she certainly drew attention. I ended up staring through the gap as well.
空見くん、チャンスだ。
As soon as she said it, Hikari dropped down on all fours and slipped into the classroom. Hey! With no other choice, I followed after. With everyone focused on the new girl, no one noticed us at all. Hikari had been right. It was a once-in-a-lifetime chance. I looked at the new girl through the gaps in the desks as I crawled along. For some reason, she made me nervous. Maybe it was because I was a transfer student like her. I knew it would be a huge deal here in the shrinking Mikazuki village for 2 kids in a row to transfer in like this. It probably also had something to do with her unusual fashion. Her flashy city style really didn't match this old wooden classroom. But what I really couldn't stop staring at was the face behind those sunglasses. With part of her face hidden like that, everyone in class was probably imagining she was some great beauty. That was all just because sunglasses had a feeling of maturity, something unsuited to kids, and it created an air of mystery about her.
はじめまして。
The new girl said with a touch of arrogance. Hello, whoa, sounded through the classroom. Like everyone was shocked she spoke the same language as they did.
私は天の川さん。その前に
Miss Saotome interrupted her introduction.
教室ではサングラスを外しましょうね。でもこれは。
Suddenly timid, the new girl started to protest, but Mrs. Saotome just stared silently. The new girl looked down in embarrassment. She clearly didn't want to take off her sunglasses. And then...
先生、遅刻してきた奴らがいます。
Just as Hikari was about to reach her seat, Takeshi noticed her and called out in a mocking voice.
ほうき星さん、それに。
たけ、この野郎、誰のせいだと思ってるんだ。
知るか、空見なんかの肩を持つからだ、バーカ。
For a moment, the spell had been lifted from the classroom and everyone was suddenly staring at us, as rowdy as ever.
はいはい、みんな静かに。二人ともどうして遅れてきたの？
違うの先生、悪いのはタケで、あいつが空見くんの上履き隠したから。
俺知らないもん。
あいつ。
空見くん、どうして遅れてきたの？空見くん？
I stared at the new girl, not aware I was being called on in all the noise of the classroom. I stared because... she'd taken off her sunglasses. Soon, everyone was staring at her like me. Our tardiness forgotten, the whole class focused their eyes on the same point. Her eyes.
なにあの目。色が違う。
The eyes she'd had hidden behind those sunglasses were two different colors. Her left eye was a deep blue, and the right was orange tinged with yellow. Unlike earlier, now everyone was speaking in low voices, unwilling to break the quiet as they turned their inquisitive eyes on her. She sniffed once and ran her hair behind her ears, as if to shake off all the rude stares.
天の川さやです。
She introduced herself. But I'm sure no one actually heard her.
天の川さんは都会での暮らしが長く。
While the teacher gave the usual "everyone be sure to be nice" line, I continued to stare, dumbfounded. I knew I shouldn't, but no one was stopping me, so I didn't stop. The new girl looked at me with doubt in her eyes.
何？
They looked like Alberio. Your eyes look like Alberio. The new girl opened her multicolored eyes wide in surprise. And the next moment, tears started to well up. Those blue and orange eyes seemed to sink into sorrow as teardrops like jewels flowed down her cheek. And at last, the new girl's face went completely red as she began weeping.
天の川さん？
Miss Saotome was thrown off by this unexpected turn of events. Sobbing loudly, the new girl stumbled out of the classroom.
少し自習しててちょうだい。教室から出ちゃダメよ。
Leaving us with those words, the teacher hurried after her. I stood completely bewildered in the clamor of the classroom, not sure what I'd done wrong. That day, no matter how hard the teacher tried to calm her down, to comfort her, the new girl never came back to the classroom. Und damit machen wir eine kleine Pause und sehen uns wieder das nächste Mal bei A Sky Full of Stars.